Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Love Wednesdays. Love starting the hour off by talking to the great Sal Paolantonio, as we like to call it now on the show, Wednesdays with Vito's son. Thanks for the time as always, Sal Pal. We appreciate. Great job, by the way, this past weekend on the pregame show with breaking down the tush push and the brotherly shove. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Always great to talk to you guys on Wednesday mornings. Fantastic. You guys do a great job.
So we were just kicking around yesterday on this show our list of teams that we think can win the Super Bowl. And we did have like 7 or 8 teams on the list, but you were telling us during the break that might be too many. At this point, 5 weeks in, you think there's some clear separation here. How many teams do you have on your list, Sal?
Well, in preparation for coming on your show this morning, I did a little word association of the top 5 or 6 teams right now in the National Football League. You want me to go through it real quick? Bang,
Sure.
bang, bang. Here we go. All right. San Francisco, Machine. Kansas City, Magic. Philadelphia, resilient, tough. Bengals, they're back. Miami, question mark. After that, Detroit, not there yet. And then I got 4 teams that I thought had a shot to be legitimate Super Bowl contenders who I think are in trouble. Bills, in trouble. Ravens, in trouble. Cowboys, definitely in trouble. Packers, in trouble.
Not bad. Very good. Why are the Ravens in trouble? If the wide receivers catch the ball Sunday, they blow out Pittsburgh.
And by the way, thank you for your compliments of the Sunday NFL Countdown. Did you see me hold up the football and the rugby ball on Sunday NFL Countdown that the Ravens were working out with a rugby ball on the field to try to increase their ability to catch the football? And then after I did that, they dropped 8 balls.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it was the kiss of death.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of things going on. First of all, Lamar Jackson seems reluctant to run. Second of all, his number of turnovers in the fourth quarter and overtime in the red zone is super high.
Yeah. Has
been for the last 2 or 3 years. I think he leads the league in turnovers in the red zone in fourth quarter and overtime. So that interception that he threw in the end zone that was caught by Joey Porter Jr. of the Steelers, that was one of the worst I've ever seen by Lamar Jackson or any other quarterback. Definitely the worst this season by any quarterback in the red zone, and giving away 7 points like that. You just can't do that. And then the drops are the drops. It's no good. They don't have a formula to win on offense. They just don't. Their quarterback cannot get their team out of trouble in the passing game in critical situations. Whereas when you look at other teams, and I got some unbelievable numbers for you on this. The most blitzed quarterback in the National Football League right now is Jalen Hurts. The second most blitzed quarterback in the National Football League right now is Brock Purdy. They're 10-0.
Wow.
So teams are coming for these quarterbacks, and these offensive coordinators and quarterbacks are setting the pass protection, and they have answers for the blitz. Nobody can get to these 2 guys right now in the blitz. They have answers at the line of scrimmage. They're setting pass protection. They have superior offensive lines, and they have coaches who are coaching them up on how to handle the blitz.
Great breakdown. Love the analysis. It's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Sal Paolantonio, ESPN, our guest. So this is the biggest, most lopsided matchup in the history of the NFL, right? The Eagles have played the Jets 12 times. The Eagles have never lost. So can the Jets front get to Hurts without blitzing this week against this offensive line? Can Zach Wilson be turnover-free and keep it close for the Jets, or are we talking about another easy win here for Philadelphia?
I think it's an easy win. I think the answers to both of those questions are no. The Eagles' offensive line is too good. Even when you blitz them, you can't get to Hurts. If you're only sending 4, Hurts is going to be patting the football. Pat, bounce, 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 pat, looking for open receivers. And the thing that really has worked for Philadelphia is moving A.J. Brown a lot around the line of scrimmage. Little motion here, little slot there, little outside receiver here. Try to get him into one-on-one situations with those crossing routes. He's got 3 straight games with 100 yards receiving. And he's getting yards after the catch. Why? He's big and strong. He's tough to bring down. He's Debo-like, very tough to bring down.
I love the ball control. I love what they did in the second half against the Rams. I love what they did in the second half and on that final drive on the Monday night game against Tampa. I mean, it's just here, 7, 8 minutes, a ton of plays, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I just love what they're doing in the second half to chew clock.
You're absolutely right. It's demoralizing.
Yes,
now, the Rams
good word
came in with that's the word. The Rams came into that game with a pretty good passing attack. Stafford was number 2 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it last week in passing yards. He got Cooper Kupp back, and he couldn't get the ball in the second half. 195 total yards. Not good. So the numbers are unbelievable. People are talking about San Francisco. I get it. It's good. They're 5-0. They look like they're going to, just run away with it. But hold on a second. They can still have to come into Philly and beat the Eagles, which I don't think they're going to be able to do. That's week 12. That's going to be a game where we're really going to find out about San Francisco.
Okay, so they bury the Jets, not only 12-0 all-time, 11-1 straight up, but then
11-1 ATS.
11-0 ATS, thank you. That's impressive. But now coming up, though, it's the Sunday night game against Miami. They go to Washington. It's Dallas, Kansas City, the Bills, the San Francisco game you mentioned. You called it on this show last year with Washington, and they lost at home on the Monday night game. Who gives Philly their first loss then?
Man, you guys put so much pressure on me. You know that? Jeez. but that's a tough question because, the league is so volatile now because of the number of injuries in the secondary. Secondaries have been decimated. You look around the league, who has their secondaries intact? Even Philadelphia lost Avonte Maddox. So this is a big, tough question. But since you asked me, I had the Eagles going 9-0 out of the gate. 9-0. So I'm more than half the way there. I think they're going to beat the Jets. I think they're going to beat the Dolphins. Super tough to come into Philadelphia on a Sunday night.
Right.
It's the city of brotherly shove. And we all know that. It's rough. I think they beat the Commanders. I think they beat Dallas. I think the first loss is Week 11 on Monday Night Football in Kansas City. I think that's the first loss. That's
6-1 right now available at DraftKings. You came on last year, like Pauly said. Great job. Not good enough, though. You got to repeat here. The pressure, I know, but you're amazing at what you do. So come on, let's do it twice in a row, huh?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for you guys. I'm ready. I was trained for this. Believe me. Yeah. Vito trained me for this. He did.
What impresses you?
The game of the week really is Lions at Bucks, right?
Wow. You think so?
Out a lot. Oh yeah. Lions at Bucks. Lions are favored on the road in Tampa against Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is still the best third down quarterback in the league. Todd Bowles, you're telling me you're going to go in there and beat Todd Bowles in Tampa?
Oh, Sal, I'm disappointed.
Oh,
are you serious? They're totally fugazi. You don't think Tampa's a fraud?
I don't.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised. I can't believe you went there, and then you think that Tampa's for real. I know it's a lousy division, but I think you saw what Philly did to him. Baker couldn't move the ball.
Okay, listen. Are we recording this? Are we on the air? We're live on the air, right?
Yes.
It's 6:09 in Vegas, 8:09 on the East Coast. Here we go. The Buccaneers will win the game outright.
Oh, wow. All right. I like that you're strong on that. Okay. All right, I'm loving it.
Hey, there's a big enough sample size, Sal, of you coming on here and being spot on. Okay, you got me.
Yeah, Philly, too. He said the Eagles would win but wouldn't cover against Washington.
That's right.
You're a connected guy. You know everyone. I trust you. Quickly, if this continues to go sideways in New England, what happens at the end of the year with Kraft and Belichick?
I don't see how they can go forward with this situation like it is. I realize Kraft would like to give Belichick an opportunity to surpass Don Shula and do it in New England. I think the over-under is 6 wins. 6.
Mm-hmm.
If he's over on 6 wins, he gets a shot to come back. If he's not, I don't think he comes back. I think it's Gerard Mayer who becomes the next head coach sooner rather than later. I mean, it's a big conversation. I know people are saying, well, Bob Kraft may come to Bill Belichick and say, give up your roster duties and just coach the team. I don't see Belichick agreeing to that. I think there's a big conversation that they have at the end of the year, and they have to face facts. They just do. Because if he can't get to 6 wins, then he can't beat Shula's record in 24 or 25.
That's correct.
Hello.
Yep. Sal, you are the best. We look forward to Wednesdays more than any other day on the show. We appreciate the time as always. Have a good weekend, okay?
No, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well done.
As we do as well. Okay, so he's on Jets Eagles this weekend again. 11-1 career ATS in this matchup, 12-0 straight up.
Tampa wins the game. His track record on this show, phenomenal.
It really is.
They're a good team, but San Francisco's better.
All right, step aside every other choke artist in sports history if they lose today.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season. Hall of Fame Bets, sports betting analytics platform for parlays, props, and game lines. Research every sport with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code WINNER. Get 50% off with Hall of Fame Bets.
Great spot with Sal Paolantonio in the previous segment. If you're just tuning in right now, I would suggest you go back at some point today and listen on the podcast. You can search Follow the Money wherever you get your podcast. He's calling a shot again today. He said the Buccaneers win outright on Sunday against the Lions. He's surprised that it's a 3-point favorite. And, oh, by the way, money's coming in on the Lions. That might go above that number where it's at right now.
Wow.
So it could go to 3.5.
He's right about Baker on third down. But what do you think of his selection? Chiefs 6-1 to hand the Eagles their first loss.
Well, that makes some sense, right? I mean, good point. Sunday Night Football playing in Philly against a non-division team. It's going to be tough for Miami to do that. Do you think the Cowboys can go there and beat them?
No.
I mean, Cowboys are a good football team. No. As he said, when he played word association to win the Super Bowl, they're in trouble. I love the trash talk, by the way, going on. Micah Parsons. So Kittle wears the Bleep the Cowboys t-shirt on Sunday night.
And then shows it after one of the touchdowns.
Good for him, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I love the trash talk in here. Yeah. Parsons goes on a podcast and he goes, okay, you might want to dial it back. We got something for you next time. Deebo Samuel comes out yesterday and says, hey, calm down, Cowboy. It might get worse.
Yeah, no kidding. We took it easy on you, which they did. I know. I love it. It could get worse. Uh-huh. My God. Although, I'm with you. They win and cover Sunday. They get by Miami in a great Sunday night game. Washington gives them fits.
They do.
That is tough.
I would agree.
I mean, they were fortunate to win the first one in overtime. So
if they get that call correct with McLaurin,
that's right.
Commanders could easily win that.
But, okay, I think, and then they get Dallas at home and then the bye. And then coming out of the bye, though, Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, at Dallas, at Seattle.
Well, here's where
man.
Here's where grabbing 6-1 makes some sense, right? Because they can, clearly win their next 4 games. They're going to be, what's the money line when they play at KC? They'll be an underdog to the Chiefs. So 6-1 at that point will be a great number.
Are you more concerned about going to Washington, maybe coming in flying high after you beat Miami, than opposed to Dallas at home? I mean, that's on the table. Think about how awful Dak Prescott looked.
Well, I would say that none of these games are gimmies. You can't say that in the NFL.
No.
And by the way, as he pointed out, injuries, I mean, this is the perfect year, right? Injuries are happening everywhere. So if they were to have a significant one, this team obviously could be in trouble in any of these games that they have coming up. All right, so for today's Major League Baseball card, the Dodgers on the road against the Diamondbacks, and you brought this up a little bit earlier in the show. 100-win team this year, 111 last year, 106 in 2021. Throughout the pandemic year, go back to 2019, they won 106 games. So if they were to lose to the Diamondbacks in this round, that's 4 consecutive full seasons of winning 100-plus games and bowing out in this round.
We've arrived. We've made it. It's Atlanta Braves, Bobby Cox territory. It absolutely is. With Glavine, Smoltz, and Maddox, and all you had was the one World Series to show for it. And all the division titles and all the 100-win seasons. I mean, it's an unmitigated disaster. And Mary Hart and everyone can give up their tickets if they lose this one. Because I don't know how do you come back and do this again? You know, after what happened against the Padres, and then you get the COVID year, but the shortened season.
Right.
To win 100 games every year and going back, and it's a lot longer than that list. I'll bet you couldn't beat the Phillies, and the Cardinals owned you, and the issues with Kershaw. And we talked about it quickly on Monday, but one of the best regular season pitchers ever. Yeah, but awful in the playoffs. And to think, even if they win this game, and I think they win tonight with Lance Lynn, you're throwing Kershaw in game 4, and I don't know what that's going to look like, and what can you expect, and can I even get 4 innings out of the guy? Mm-hmm. But it is just a mitigated disaster that you look so good. And I'll tell you, Mookie Betts is in a big-time slump, too, in the playoff going back. It's on like a 3 for 35 stretch.
Well,
and I can't kill the guy, but I'm just giving you facts. What's happened to Freddie Freeman now?
Sure, both guys, Paul. I mean, they were the catalyst for this offense the entire year, and it was a juggernaut. People were trying to make the case for both guys to steal the MVP from Acuna. That's how good of seasons they had.
I know.
And so you can't disappear in these moments, and the offense can't completely dissipate like it has either.
But as Sterling always says, that's baseball, Susan. But go back to what the Atlanta Braves. Are they going to do this for the second year in a row? And, of course, it's fitting that the one year they win the World Series, they're not good. And they won like 88 games, 87 games that year. And that's the year they won the World Series and shocked the Braves. That wasn't a good team, but they got hot at the right time, like the St. Louis team that was in the mid-'80s that one year. So, I mean, it's the same thing it's October, and expect the unexpected. But if they can't get the Fott, this guy, this kid might need a diaper tonight to go against this lineup. And they won the game, but he got lit up from the get-go against Milwaukee. Burns couldn't hold a 3-run lead early on and gave it right back. But it also comes down to Lance Lynn. And what do I get here? A guy who had a bad ERA and led the league in home runs allowed, and Arizona's just they're awesome with the bat so far.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to say about the matchup, right? Lynn has not faced Arizona since 2020, so there's no form whatsoever against this lineup. Since the Dodgers acquired him, he made 11 starts, 7-2 with the record. The ERA is 4.36, the FIP 2 runs higher at 6.16, and a WHIP is 1.27. Those are bad numbers. 44 home runs overall allowed, most in Major League Baseball. Pauly, that's the 6th most of all time. Now, the Diamondbacks, on the season, they were 19th in baseball exit velo. They were 3rd from the bottom in launch angle, 3rd fewest barrels, 3rd worst barrel percentage, 22nd overall in hard hit percentage. But that hasn't mattered in the postseason so far. They got to Burns. They eventually got to Peralta. Look what has happened so far in the postseason against the Dodgers. Offensively, their numbers in terms of putting a bunch of runs on the board and going deep, they should be able to get to Lynn tonight because he's so bad. But overall, their numbers on the season tell you maybe they can't go yard.
Yeah, how about a baseball playoff game with a total of 10? But this is the same thing with the Orioles. If the Dodgers starting pitching can't even give them a chance, and you come out and it's already 3-0 and 4-0 in the first inning, good luck, because Roberts has already used all those guys out of the bullpen. So, if Lynn can't give you much today, and somehow he can still win maybe in a slugfest, then good luck with Kershaw in Game 4. Yeah. But this is bananas what's happened here.
Now, here are the numbers on Fott against the Dodgers. He faced them twice this year. I'll give you one guess how it went. 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Not good. The next time he faced him, 4 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 2 home runs allowed, 2 walks, 4 Ks. So he got roughed up both starts. And when you look at him overall on the road compared to at home, on the season at home in 10 starts, his ERA is 6.46. The whip is 1.63. They threw him because I guess they had to at home. Yeah. But he was a total disaster. And it's just the Dodgers offense, they have to wake up today. Otherwise, they're going to go go golf. But I mean, it's like the numbers are telling you that they are going to. They
had plenty of chances in game 2. Bases loaded, 2-1, can't get the big hit. Bases loaded, 3-1. They come back, they get out of the inning. But this has happened 3 times. It's only happened 3 times. Best of 5, and the home team loses the first 2 to come back and win. You had the Yankees do it against the A's with the Jeter flip against Giambi. They came back. A's blew that series. Yankees did it. The Giants did it and came all the way back and won the World Series. 2012, I believe. They did it against the Reds.
I remember that series.
And then Toronto did it. The Bautista bat flip. They lost the first 2 games at home against Texas and won the next 3 and won Game 5 at home. And that was the crazy get out of here and hits the home run. So it's happened 3 times. See if the Dodgers can do it. But
they're 4-1 on the series price.
Yeah, I can't get there. I mean, even you're going to have to beat Kelly and Gallen as well. I can't trust. It's the same thing we've talked about since the second half since All-Star break. Who are you throwing? And just horrible luck, too, with the Urias story and the injuries, and you thought Buehler was coming back. No Buehler. Can't trust Kershaw. They can't throw any. They can't trust any starter. Can't trust anyone they throw out there. And an 84-win team has got a great shot here to go to the World Series.
I'll flip it for a second. This series feels a little bit like the Celtics Heat Eastern Conference Finals. Heat had a 3-0 lead. Celtics came crawling back. I might grab a little bit of Dodgers 4-1 to win this series.
Wow. Surprised.
You've been saying all day Arizona was a bad baseball team this year. I disagree with that, but
well, I thought they were. The second half, at least. How about, I don't know, how do you not take the Phillies today?
Well, because let me give you career numbers here.
Well, Nola's good at home, though, against Atlanta. But it's also, what are the Phillies offense going to do against Elder or the rookie, whoever they throw it? I got to go Elder, I would think. But his numbers, he had an ERA of 6 going back the last couple of months.
Riley, career against Nola, 389 average, 5 doubles, 5 home runs. Acuna, career, 327 average, 5 doubles, 4 home runs. Ozuna, career versus Nola, 255 average, 4 home runs. Oh, he gives up plenty of meatballs to this team.
Okay, but they're going to score, though. So
they should.
That means Nolan's going to give them up.
Look at the total at 9.
Yeah, right.
I really wish his total was 8. It's not.
But then again, top 5 records, 1-10 so far.
We'll get into look-ahead numbers. Week 7, NFL. I'm surprised this team is favored in this spot. We'll give you the details next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Become a VSiN Pro subscriber today. Get a daily email recapping all the best bets from every host and guest. Unlimited access to the vsin.com/picks page. Sort by sport, matchup, date, and more. Check the leaderboard to view betting records, profit, ROI. See who has the hot hand. Pro picks, betting splits, power ratings. Great dog videos. VSiN Pro subscriber today. Sign up today, $19. vsin.com/subscribe.
Here we go with look-ahead numbers. They're available now. Week number 7. DraftKings has them up. The Thursday night game's intriguing to me a week from tomorrow. It's Jacksonville at New Orleans. This game's a pick'em. Total is 42.5.
Good game. Give me the Jags, right? Still haven't seen enough of Carr in that offense. And intriguing Thursday night game, though.
Are you a little afraid of Jacksonville coming back this week? Not taking the bye week off. They were in London for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now they get a divisional game. And then getting reacclimated here to the States.
They've owned Indy, though. At home, owned them. So I would think, I think the line's a little short, though. But
okay,
yeah, I mean, there could be something to that. But
well, let's not forget, you had them on your Super Bowl list yesterday.
Yeah. No, I think they win. Yeah.
I called you a nut job, but
I trust history. Yeah.
So you think they win this weekend? No problem. Yeah. Probably cover. Then you'll have them, and then you think they win on the road against the Saints in a short week. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll tie this conversation into Survivor coming up in about a half an hour, because next week stinks for Survivor options.
Not next week, please. Look at week 7 through 10.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
So I'm just going to say this. The Bills are 7.5 at the Patriots. Total is 43.5.
It's on my list. You have to consider it. The Patriots are so bad right now. plus how well Josh Allen has played against them. That it's
the problem is
Mac Jones. Last 12 games as a dog, 0-12 ATS.
Sure. Here's the rub. I think a lot of people have already used Buffalo, and I think a lot of people are going to use Buffalo this week. It's very tempting, obviously, against the Giants.
They also have a game coming up against Denver at home, which is Week 10. That would be risky business.
Yeah.
Although, again, the Patriots have become a laughingstock here and an embarrassment. But you don't have a lot of options Week 7.
Yep. Other Week 7 numbers on the look ahead here. Commanders are laying 1.5 at the Giants. Total is 42.5. There's no way the Commanders would have been favored in New York in the preseason. But this is how bad it's been now for the Giants.
Yeah, can't get there. Don't want any part of the Giants. No way.
Divisional dog at home? No interest?
No.
What if they get their guys back and they're healthy?
Horrendous offensive line. Terrible.
Browns 2.5 at the Colts. Total 42.5. We're going to have Watson back?
It's a rotator cuff type deal. So this...
It's a bruise?
Yeah.
On the rotator cuff?
They'll win the game if he's there, but that's... Oh, boy. The dropped off. But not that the guy was Joe Namath, but P.J. Walker or DTR. Yikes.
Yeah. Well, and this is just going to be... And I like what Shane Steichen's doing with the Colts right now. I think Minshew's going to be up against that Browns defense. 42.5 feels like it might be a bit high.
Right.
Raiders are favored at the Bears. Total is 46.5. Vegas by 1. Again, I'm the wrong guy to ask because I think the Raiders are not good, and I can't believe some of these numbers. So to me, I don't know how they're favored.
I know. But this schedule coming up is doable. Again, New England at Chicago, Giants and Jets at home. But they're the only team that's yet to score 20 points in a game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So I also think the Bears have a bunch of winnable games coming up.
Yeah, well, the Bears will move the ball on them.
I think they almost, well...
They will.
The Packers couldn't.
Well, the Bears will move the ball on them at home.
What number would you need for the Bears to make the playoffs?
8-1.
They were 30-1 before the Commanders game.
They're only a couple out. Maybe I need more than that. I'm trying to... Let me look at the playoff.
If they can patch together, a handful of victories before Thanksgiving to get into the mix, I saw 15-1 yesterday, Bears to make the playoffs. I did not bet it. I don't know if I'm going to bet it. But I think the Bears are playing some pretty decent football right now.
It certainly appears that you're going to get 2 from the South. That someone's going to go. The schedule's
because
just so
of the
easy.
schedules, I know.
Someone's going to go 9-8 and get a wild card out of that division. So then you got Dallas with the other one as well, and Seattle's going to win a lot of games,
right?
Or at least get to 9. So
can the Rams be a playoff contender?
No,
they're playing pretty good football.
No.
Falcons are at the Buccaneers. Sal Pal's team, Tampa Lane 2.5. Total is 41. It seems like every game Atlanta's in, it's going to be a 2.5 point game.
I know. Now, what is this Vance Jefferson now? What are they doing?
I don't. It's because Arthur Smith went back and looked at the box score and said, well, wait a second here. Pitts had how many targets? That's not good. Too many. We got to trade for a receiver.
I can't believe this. I texted our buddy Paul Charchian when Jefferson IR stuff came down. I said, can a kid dream? Any shot here with the Jets? Pick up the phone. He says Atlanta. Now, you have to work something out, the no trade and all that, but how about that fit? Now, that is juicy.
Cousins to Atlanta?
Oh, that's juicy.
And then what? So then the plan would be to sign him long term?
That I don't know. But that's...
Or this, you're talking about this year to make a run?
Absolutely. No,
the Atlanta Falcons with Kirk Cousins are going absolutely nowhere.
Where are they going with Ritter?
Well, nowhere either.
I got a shot with Cousins. With those weapons.
A shot for what?
I could maybe be a play. I could win a game in the playoffs. I mean, what am I going to do?
Is that worth trading anything for him? You can get into the playoffs with Ritter because the schedule's so easy. You're not going to give up anything for Kirk Cousins if you're Atlanta. I hate the idea.
Really?
Oh, it's stupid.
I can't beat the Dallas Cowboys with Kirk Cousins?
Oh,
I can't
have you watched the guy play in prime time? He'd throw 5 INTs at halftime. Did you forget the last 10 years of football?
All right.
Charchian. Got to yell at him tomorrow for even bringing it up.
All right, see what he says, yeah.
Lions at the Ravens are 2.5 at home to the Lions. Boy, is that a good game.
That is. Tough stretch here for Detroit. Yeah. That is a good game.
Cardinals at Seattle. Survivor?
And then they're coming off the London game, too. Another one.
Yes, that's right.
That's a mistake.
Seattle 7.
Yeah, I think so. Now with Connor, that happened when we got off the air, too. Now Connor on the IR. So I think Seattle will be able to move the ball and get what they want.
Steelers at the Rams. Rams are laying 3, total 42.5.
Oh, God, they can't get the Fire Canada chance at the hockey game. Oh, they can't stand them. That's a tough one, too. How are the Steelers 3-2?
I would think plenty of black and gold in the stadium that day.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
They will travel well to that game. Chargers at the Chiefs. KC is below a full touchdown. And an extra, they're 6. Total's 52.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Yeah.
Packers, this is the game I can't believe. As bad as the Broncos are, the Packers are favored on the road. The look-ahead number has Green Bay 1.5. Total is 46.5.
Has to be.
They have to be favored?
They can't stop anything. As bad as Love has looked, it's historically the worst defense in NFL history with DVOA through the first 5 games. I mean, they can't stop anything.
I like the Broncos.
Yeah?
Is Aaron Jones going to play? Yes or no? I don't know.
Wow.
I thought he was going to be back the last 2 weeks.
Okay, all right.
If Aaron Jones can't play, is Dillon going to go for A.J. Dillon going to run for 150 yards? Is Love capable of making any play at all down the field? I haven't seen it unless Christian Watson's open by 25 yards. Dolphins are at the Eagles. How about this? I texted you this yesterday. Philly's 2.5 at home.
Yeah, that's a lot of respect for the Dolphins.
Wow.
That's a lot of respect. Sal's right. It's no joke. It's a tough place to play. And this kid is 22-1 in his last 23 starts. And Achan's out. So
total's 53.5 there.
Yeah, they're not stopping him. Miami's not stopping him. Now, can they slow down Tua? I know how it looked in the first half. It was easy for Stafford, and they didn't have the ball in the second half. And what Howell did to him would be cause for concern. But that's too much respect for the Dolphins.
I would totally agree.
Great game, great Sunday night game.
On Sunday night,
great game.
This week I'm talking about, will that number open again? Because the Dolphins are going to blow out Carolina this week.
Right.
The Eagles might look really good against the Jets. Is it really going to open below 3? I don't know. That to me seems like a good bet right now. Philly minus 2.5.
All right.
Monday night game, Niners are 7 at the Vikings. Totals 45.5.
Now, this will not go well for our friend.
No, this will not.
No.
But I was busting your balls earlier because I don't like McCarthy or Dak either. So in that situation you ran down, could Kirk Cousins actually do something against Dallas? I don't think it would go very well, but also it's Dak and McCarthy, so, it's probably a punt.
I am intrigued with the possibility. London, Robinson, Pitts, Jefferson. That's...
What's the philosophy there with Smith in the game plan?
Well,
he loves to run the ball.
Right, that might be the biggest problem. It could be Smith with the play calling, what he does.
Yeah.
But that's all right. I thought it was interesting. Charch got right back to me on that and said Atlanta.
Did he automatically poo-poo the Jets?
Yeah, because I guess they're all in with Wilson. Plus, who knows with Rodgers? The guy, you say no chance, but could the guy come back late December, early January? I don't know, with the voodoo magic he's got going on.
College football with VSiN host Tim Murray up next. Has he changed his opinion at all on the USC Notre Dame game over recent weeks? We'll ask him coming up here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Don't forget DraftKings Sportsbook this season. New customers can bet $5 and pocket $200 in bonus bets instantly. All customers get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Great props as always. Creativity off the charts. NHL futures, MLB playoffs. Download the app. Use promo code FOLLOW when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
College football time as VSiN host Tim Murray joins the program now. You can get his podcast. It's called the College Football Betting Podcast here on VSiN, and also his show is called VSiN Primetime, weeknights at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Tim, as always, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. You are a Notre Dame guy. You've been back to South Bend and in other spots many, many times to watch his team play in person. You were there for the Ohio State game a couple of weeks back. Regarding this game coming up on Saturday against USC, as the Irish now, favored again, 2.5 with the spread. Has your opinion at all changed on this game over recent weeks due to how truly awful the SC defenses looked?
Yeah, no, and I always appreciate jumping on with you guys. This game is so intriguing, right? I mean, you look at a look-ahead line of 2 at DraftKings, and then Notre Dame plays the way that they did against Louisville. Horrible scheduling spot, but they were awful. I mean, Louisville outcoached them, outplayed them. Sam Hartman was just dreadful in that game. And now it's 2.5, and we even have a 3 out there in the market, and where you guys were sitting circa yesterday afternoon when I got there for work, hit the 3, and then went right back down. And I know, Mitch, you and I were talking about it off air. You know, we had Brad Powers on VSiN Primetime last night. I know you guys will have him on later this week. And he said his favorite play of the year is USC. I wouldn't go that far. And I really go back and forth because we talk about desperate spots in the NFL a lot. And I'm not saying Marcus Freeman, guys, is going to be fired if they lose this game, but there's a lot of heat coming his way right now for the way that they played in that game. Obviously, the way that the Ohio State game ended, and now you're looking at an opportunity here to quiet some folks, head into a bye week with a win. I do think you're going to get a pretty good effort from Notre Dame, but I've been joking, saying this, guys, about Notre Dame. This team looked like they were out of gas. Well, They still have to play another game. It's not like they had a bye week. Did they find a gas station to re-up, heading into this game? That's my question. The offensive line, which was supposed to be a strength, and why ultimately I thought they would go to Louisville. I didn't bet the game, but I thought they'd go to Louisville and play and win just because I could trust in their offensive line, and the offensive line was horrendous against Louisville. They were swapping out guards, they were swapping out centers. It didn't make sense to me. So I do think this is going to be a fascinating game, in that Notre Dame is going to try to keep the best player, the most talented player in college football, in Caleb Williams, on the sideline over there. And I do think weather's going to be a factor. We haven't had really the weather game yet. I guess a couple early season games where you've got hurricanes, but temps are expected to be in the low 50s, rain, wind. So I do think that should benefit Notre Dame. But, it's hard for me to get on the Irish here, but I'm not going to get on USC. I know Brad loves them. It's his favorite play, and I respect Brad's opinion quite a bit, but I think the desperation for Notre Dame, you're going to see a pretty good effort from them. And I think that, Notre Dame is going to play similarly to how they played against Ohio State. But it's been interesting, guys, to see how this offense starts the way that it does with 4 40-point games. And since then, it's been ugly to see this offense.
Well, Brad's thing, too, is, this isn't the AFC North here. I mean, take it easy with the schedule, because you go Ohio State, at Duke, at Louisville, and now this game. Not to mention you have the extra week because you played the Week 0 game.
And it was across the pond in Ireland. So, it's funny. Notre Dame's schedule is brutal, and it's ironic because they're an independent and they have pretty much flexibility to make this a lot more manageable. That said, the ACC kind of puts games in when they fit in. But this is something to note moving forward for the Trojans here, because USC also played in Week 0, and they've already used their bye, or one of their byes. Their next bye, guys, comes the final week of the season, right before the Pac-12 championship. So USC at the end of the year is going to play 9 straight games, which is going to have a stretch of Notre Dame, Utah, Cal, Washington, Oregon, and UCLA. I mean, this defense is already pretty bad, as we all know. And I know, Pauly, you pointed to me, and I didn't see it until you showed it to me. Lincoln Riley was all fired up yesterday, but look, man, the defense hasn't changed. The defense might be worse.
Yep.
And honestly, watching that game late night Saturday, I don't know what Jed Fish is thinking. Go for 2,
right?
Try to win the game. Saturday was just full of coaching blunders, as we all know.
Yep.
But, look at that schedule. I mean, You're telling me USC's making that thing through without multiple losses? If they do, I'll change my tune on them. But at Oregon, at Notre Dame, home to Utah, home to Washington, and UCLA, whose we saw that defense is the real deal, one of the best defenses in the entire country. With the issues that they have defensively, I don't know if they get them. I don't know if Notre Dame gets them this weekend, but they certainly are not going undefeated, and I think multiple losses are coming the Trojans' way.
Same here. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs at all. Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. VSiN host Tim Murray, our guest. So then you brought it up with UCLA. They're very good. Oregon State, also very good. What do you make of this clash between, I'd like to say, two of the best teams in the Pac-12, but I mean, the Pac-12 was loaded, so I don't know where these two teams fall in the pecking order, but what do you make of the number here with the Beavers laying about 4?
Yeah, it's a gauntlet. And, I am not a big totals guy. Every once in a while I could find a spot. Notre Dame Duke I thought was a dead under game and was fortunate to be on the right side of that. I think this is an under game, and the market so far has disagreed. You can get a 55.5 out there on this total. I'm going under on UCLA, Oregon State. Dante Moore, the quarterback for UCLA, is going to be really good. I truly believe that. You can see it. But he's a true freshman. And when they went to Utah 2 weeks ago, he looked like a true freshman. I mean, you're facing a stud defense, and now you're going up to Oregon State. Oregon State will get after you up front. Now, the secondary can be had for Oregon State, and we saw that last week. I was stunned that Cal was able to score as much as they did, an offense that is relatively quiet. In Oregon State, DJ Uiagalelei probably played his best game maybe of his career, maybe second or third. He had that Notre Dame game in the COVID season when he filled in for Trevor Lawrence. But, Oregon State's offense was humming last week against Cal. Never in my wildest dreams did I think a 52-burger would be coming from Oregon State on the road a week after they beat Utah. But, you look at Oregon State, they're not a fast team. They don't really want to get up and go. And we saw it last week. I mean, Washington State, UCLA. Washington State was this juggernaut offensively, so we thought, and UCLA put the absolute clamps down on them. And you go back to Dante Moore. Dante Moore was probably the only reason Washington State stayed in that game. He throws the pick six right before the half when, UCLA is probably going to score at least a field goal to go up 12-3. Ultimately, they were able to overcome that. And, UCLA, what they were able to do quite well, guys, against Washington State was they ran the ball. Carson Steele was a beast. He ran for, I think, 140 yards in that game. I just don't see that success coming. I think this is more of a slugfest. It's a night game in Corvallis. So, certainly the crowd is going to be fired up for this one. So I'm going to go under on this one. A lean towards the Beavs. Okay. But I'm going to go under, and you can find a 55.5 out there pretty easily. So let's go under on these two.
Timmy, in like 30 seconds here to go back to that Notre Dame game from last week. Now, what do you make of the spot here with Louisville laying 8 against Pittsburgh after knocking off the Fighting Irish?
This is the ultimate Nard dog spot, Pat Narduzzi. I mean, they're terrible this year. They just benched their quarterback. They're coming off a bye. 6:30 Eastern kick at Pittsburgh. Look, Louisville, all credit to them. They were the better team. They were the better coach team. I don't know how good they are, though, honestly, because they had a close game with Indiana. They were fortunate to beat NC State. Maybe it's too obvious, but in a classic letdown spot, Pittsburgh coming off a bye. I just think I got to back the Pitt Panthers here. 7.5, 8s are out there. It was up at 10 at one point at where you guys sat at Circa. I wish I had grabbed that number, but I think anything north of a touchdown is worth it. And we're going to hold our nose and trust a backup quarterback in Pittsburgh. Got some injuries on the offensive line, but we're going to grab Pitt in the letdown spot against Louisville.
Very good. Get Tim's podcast here. It's called the VSiN College Football Betting Podcast. And also catch a show called VSiN Primetime, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Thanks, Tim. Good luck this week.
All right, boys. Talk to you soon.
A fun Survivor discussion is on deck.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.